Well, we heard Nikol Pashinyan there saying that it was a difficult decision, and that even so, he still wouldn't recognise Armenia as defeated. But it's very hard to see how it's anything but. Almost everyone here in the Armenian capital has seen it as a complete capitulation. It's given Azerbaijan almost everything that it has, in fact, been seeking for years and years. So what is in this deal? We're looking at the battle lines being frozen where they are. Now, that's going to completely withdraw the map of the region. We've been looking at nearly 30 years that Nagorno-Karabakh's had its borders frozen as they were, with this buffer zone, the 7 territories outside that Armenia had been using to try and prevent, to keep the distance between their forces and Azerbaijan. Now, those 7 territories will now be handed back to Azerbaijan, with the exception of the Lachin corridor, that small route that links Armenia to Nagorno-Karabakh. That will be handled by Russian peacekeepers, around 2,000 of them, who have already begun moving into place for a period set to be there for no less than 5 years, is what we're hearing. Now, on the other side, it looks like Azerbaijan is going to get a corridor of its own through Armenian territory, linking it to its region of Nakhichevan. That's certainly got people in Armenia worried. They don't know what that might actually lead to. However, one possible bright spot there, that at least it does mean that there is going to be the right to return for Azerbaijan's displaced, having to leave Nagorno-Karabakh, fleeing after the war in the 1990s. They now have the right to return. They will be able to return to whatever remains of their homes. Now, of course, as we've seen, leading to an immediate outpouring of unrest here in the Armenian capital, Yerevan. We've seen pictures there of the protesters invading the parliament, looking for what they were screaming in front of the cameras, looking for what they called the traitor, ripping Pashinyan's name off his office. And in some reports, the Speaker of the Parliament was in fact set upon by an angry mob. There were reports that he had to go to hospital for surgery. Now, this comes just a day after 17 opposition parties here in Armenia were calling for Pashinyan's head, calling for him to step down over his handling of the war. Now, it is true that those 17 parties only represent about 2% of the vote. However, it's very, very hard to see how a leader, world leader, who had misled his people for weeks, 6 weeks of conflict over just how badly it was in fact going, is going to be able to survive politically.
Indeed, so it looks like things calming down on the military front, but heating up on the political one there, Luke, where you are. Where do you see things going from here?
Well, over the other side of the border in Azerbaijan, it's massive cause for celebration. This is, again, something that they have sought for years, and it's likely that they're going to be somewhat magnanimous in victory, although that's a bitter pill for Armenia to swallow. 30 years that Nagorno-Karabakh has had almost for its own self-determination, for its own rule. But in Azerbaijan, they now have the freedom to act. They're likely going to be deepening their ties with Turkey. That is a bet for Baku that has paid off dividends. It's now sees Baku as far less reliant on Russia and able to act as it chooses. With Armenia, it's almost total disarray. They've lost any opportunity they had to negotiate. What people in the capital are saying on Tuesday morning is that they're asking the questions: why did we not negotiate when we had the chance? Why not negotiate before the balance of power changed over the last few years? Looking at the state of both militaries, from where Armenia stood during the 1990s, it's a complete reversal of fortunes. Armenia is now the weaker side against Azerbaijan, which is better supplied, better equipped, better resourced, and with allies that have been backing it to the hilt, like Turkey. That balance of power has now seemingly changed irrevocably, and Armenia is going to have to find a way to move forward. Although, in terms of looking at people who fled from Nagorno-Karabakh itself in recent weeks, all of the displaced and refugees who've been pouring over the border into Armenia, it really does remain to be seen if they'll wish to go back to live under Azerbaijan as Azerbaijani citizens.